All right, positive energy all the time. Hope y'all doing great. And I am wondering, why are the Haitians blaming us for Donald Trump and the Republicans putting them out when a lot of Haitians supported Trump? At least half of the Haitian voters, maybe a few more, uh, were promoting Trump. It was Haitians for Trump. They had the one group taking pictures with them and everything. Make this make some type of sense. Make it make some kind of sense. They got the lady, she's popular for supporting Trump. What the heck is going on? Y'all remember the lady with the goldish hair, the little slim lady that was caping for Trump? This lady right here. Y'all remember this lady? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Y'all remember this lady? I'm just saying. I'm confused with that. She was going out of her way to campaign for Trump. I don't understand, man. There's something wrong with them people. I ain't kidding. So what do we have to do with TPS ending? Does anybody know? What do Black Americans have to do with TPS ending? Now I don't know any Haitians like friends. I've been around maybe one or two Haitians. I think the one brother used to be with the African brothers. I've talked to him a couple times on the phone. I can't say I really know him like a friend. I was acquainted with him, but we don't really have a uh, notable, I guess would be the word, Haitian community in Chicago. Like they're not seen. You don't see Haitian restaurants in Chicago. You see Thai restaurants, Chinese restaurants, Greek, Italian, Jamaican, soul food, um, then just basic restaurants. There's not no Haitian stuff in Chicago. Like I don't know where no Haitian stores are at, or I've never personally seen a Haitian restaurant. Let me see. Haitian restaurant in Chicago. Okay, cuisine Creole. So this looked like the same guy down in this looked like the same owner down there in Florida. It's the same logo. Oh, see, it's up on the north side. Makes sense. It's up on Howard. That's where all the Jamaicans are at. So it's up on Howard. That makes sense. Leor's Cafe on the south side of Chicago. I don't know that. I've never been there. Yeah, so I don't know. I can't go now. I can't go to a Haitian restaurant now. The way I've been on their necks. I surely can't go now, but I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the Haitians and why are they involving us in a situation, and why are they so cowardly? The Haitian community is really coming off kind of cowardly because they don't say anything about Trump or the Republicans. I mean, not a word. Maybe they feel like they'll throw them out faster. Y'all notice they're not saying nothing about Trump and the Republican Party. I mean, they're not saying nothing. They're online talking about us. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all notice that? They dropping videos about us. They not saying nothing about Trump or the Republican Party, just throwing them out. They ain't said nothing about the Republican Senate, the Republican Congress. They not saying nothing about the Supreme Court that okay throwing them out. They ain't saying nothing to the people that's really throwing them out. So it's like they never liked us. They never liked us. They just taking the opportunity now to show their real feelings, which is not politically smart because now we wouldn't vote for any black person that's going to help the Haitians. We wouldn't vote. They are basically helping the Republican Party. Like Roland Martin is part Haitian. A lot of people are not going to like him just because of that 1/3. He's one fourth Haitian, or 1/3 Haitian, whatever he said. That's enough for us not to like him. And now the Democratic Party is going to be under the microscope. Okay, who's a tether? All right, we no Democrats. No Democrats, because the Democrats are not really helping foundational Black Americans. They're basically the blacks they're putting in the party are all immigrants that don't have our best interests. They got to go. I don't care if the Democratic Party don't win for another two elections. They got to go. They look at Mondani up there. It's just like, who is that? And what dues have he paid to be a mayor of? They've got to make some changes about politics. You can't just come to this country and have political power that quick. You need to have some skin in the game. You can't just come to this country and become a mayor or something before the blacks or whites or people that've been here for generations. That's not you should not be able to hold a political office in this country for three generations. Really for the great grandkids. The grandkids know. Like if I come in from Africa My children shouldn't be able to hold office. My grandchildren shouldn't be able to hold office. My great grandchildren should be able to run for office. My great grandchildren should be the first group that should be able to run for office because before that, we're still technically wherever we came. Wherever I came from, my children are going to still be mostly that. My children are not just going to be Americans just because I moved here and had children. It doesn't work like that. Oh, not really. It might could speed up if the one of the parents is an American, then maybe the grandchildren. Yeah, yeah, they haven't been that long at all. But to just come here like Mandani, you know, and just be the mayor, uh, it says in the last days every man shall eat from under his own fig tree. That could be interpreted a lot of different ways. That could be interpreted as maybe you don't got a blacks against foundational black Americans. How are you a foundational black American if you is from Mexico? These people are trying to be foundational. They don't know what foundational means. No, you're a half breed. But I don't believe if your mother and father and your relatives don't go all the way back to the same place, you ain't no foundational black American. Your mom and daddy got to be from here. They mamas and daddies all the way back. You can't you can't be no half breed. Call yourself foundational. How you foundational if you're half a Mexican from Mexico? How you gonna be just like me? My mom and daddy from Alabama. They mom and daddy from Alabama. How you? No, you can't take my identity. You can't take my identity. You can make up a new identity. But what we're trying to do is make sure it's clear that you're not me. You're not me. And we're going to do this the nice way. We're going to do it the hard way. But it's going to be a clear distinction. You're not going to be able to run around here and say you me. I'm going to just tell you. I would advise the government to take care of that because you're not going to be able to run around here and say you me. I'm going to respect you for who you are, but you can't like piggyback on my birthright. You can't bring your grandmama in from Africa to match my grandmother from here. No, no, you can't do that. If we don't got the same grandparents, the same kind of great grandparents, the same type of great great grandparents, we ain't the same. I can't go to Africa and marry an African woman and have a baby. That baby can't be like the Africans that been Africans. I mean, some of this stuff is common sense. How my baby by an African woman gonna be just like an African baby by an African woman and an African man? You know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not with that. I don't trust no immigrant running for office that's gonna do stuff for immigrants before they do stuff for Americans. The people that are immigrants gonna come and let people skip the line. So you're an immigrant, you come over here and you start moving immigrants in front of the line over traditional people that have been here. I'm not with that. And anybody that's with that is probably an immigrant or some kind of weirdo they sell. So we can't trust supporters because supporters be sometimes evil, just like the people they support, right? And so when you got people that really don't mean you no well, they're going to have supporters that don't mean you well, basically. So you can't really trust supporters of people that don't really represent righteousness and decency. Decency, you would make sure the people that been here the longest have the most say so in a common sense world. And you wouldn't have people living in the country from a long time and have people move there and start telling them what to do. You would get your politicians from that group of people that have paid their dues into that country, not no transplant. That's how you lose your country because a transplant heart, a lot of times, be still there. Like I've been around a lot of black immigrants and they heart still be at home. They just be over here smooching and leeching, but they don't love the place. They just, a lot of immigrants, they don't love the country like Americans. They're leeches. And it's just like, if you don't want anybody with you when you get in a fight and they run back home and then you got to fight. You see what I'm saying? They'll run back home and leave you. You can't be like me. My father served in the military. Your daddy was in Jamaica or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, users and leeches. I'm not saying you can't move nowhere and be respected as a citizen, but I don't believe I should be able to move to Kenya and hold no office. I can use me. I do not believe that I could move to Kenya. I should not be allowed to hold an office over people that have been in Kenya forever. To me, any decent person would agree. Only a loser and a lowlife and a snake would disagree. What right do I got to come into somebody else's country and become a political making decisions for the country over the people that been there for generations? Anybody that think that's all right is a loser or a snake themselves. You got to understand snakes support snakes. So any person that would think that was fine in personal life, I would never hang with them. I couldn't trust them. Because that's a person that'll come where I've been working and hustling and build up something and think they're supposed to come and have what I have. Can't trust a person like that. And we got a lot of people in this social media, on our social media, and in this country that really got to go. And some of them, they on this social media stuff, but they don't know they're going to get their exit. When the public get too angry, the government won't be able to control them, and you're going to be out of here. You're going to be gone because you ain't going to be able to come outside with the public. See, some people letting these politicians fool you, but when you piss off the public, the politicians can't save you. This happens. This been happening to immigrants for a long time. They never really tell the truth about what the Jews was doing to the Germans in Germany. I'm gonna leave that right there. It wasn't like everything was decent, and we'll just say that. And I'm not promoting what Hitler did. I'm just saying historically, there's a history behind the dislike of the Jews in Germany. It wasn't like they just disliked them. Go look it up. It wasn't like, oh, no, it was more to that. Seriously, I'm not promoting what happened though. Also, they weren't the only ones in the concentration camp. There was black people in there and other and gay people in there too, and other people was in the concentration camp for different ideologies that they didn't feel was good for the German people, basically. And so I'm trying to figure out why are the Haitians blaming foundational black Americans for Trump throwing them out when the Haitians supported Trump? Can anybody explain me what's up with that? Now, who gonna respect Haitians when they're not very? They don't seem to be a very honest group. Now they're from America and all. They just it's like okay, these people here. No wonder the Dominican don't want y'all on that side. What's wrong with y'all? It seemed like some Haitian would come out and say, "Listen, y'all stop making us look bad and tell it they people," but they just letting their people. They just letting their people do whatever. And I'm like, y'all don't got no Haitians to tell the other Haitians nothing. See, you got to worry about a group like that. You ever notice it's just one side with the Haitians? It's just one sided. There's no opposition. They can just do anything, and there's nobody say, "Hey, wait a minute, this ain't right." You don't see any Haitians telling the Haitians, "Hey, why are we blaming Black Americans? They're not the ones throwing out." I haven't seen one. Something wrong. What the hell's going on with them? They so phony. What happened to Haitians for Trump? It kind of seems like they stereotype themselves. You have to wonder. No, they haven't said nothing about her. They just keep talking about us. Everybody know what that's going to turn to. Like they ain't the brightest bulbs in the lamp. That's going to go bad. They basically, the Haitians basically dig themselves a deeper hole. So the ones that TPS has been terminated, but the other ones, they won't have any allies. Like people will want all the Haitians out of here. Like that's the thing that's tripping me out. Like the Haitians, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like they have made everything worse. Like if they would have just been quiet and negotiated with the Republicans, they might have individually they would have eventually probably got a support system. But they run away. They not gonna have no support. Like none, no support. Maybe some white Christians. But the Haitians are gonna have no black American support. I mean zero. They already don't have no African support, no Jamaican support, because none of them want them to come there either. The Jamaicans said they can't come there. Now, what have the Haitians done to the Jamaican people? The reason Jamaicans don't want them there. What has been going on? I don't know how they thought 1.5 million people could replace 50 million. Nobody was going to let 50. Haitians don't even have 50 million people. So if they were thinking about a destiny swap, well, I don't know what kind of educational system they got because just one city in Chicago got more Haitians than Haiti. Like how you gonna? That Destiny's to why 50 million black Americans, it's only a million of y'all. A million or 2 million. Where you gonna get the other 48 million from? The educational system doesn't seem to be any good in some of these countries where these black immigrants live. It seems like they have the worst educational system in the world. Who come from a, let me see, how many Haitians were in Haiti? See what I'm saying? What's wrong with that? Look, before they even came here, it was 3 million of them. It was 3 million of them in 1950. How many black Americans was it in 1950? In 1950, it was 15 million black Americans. 15 million black Americans, 3 million Haitians. How in the world are you going to destiny swap 3 million? And that's before the baby boom. Once the baby boom, my generation, I was born in 58. They ain't have enough. They ain't have enough people to. What? They don't have the education. They don't have the training. None of that. This is why so many black American, black foreigners. This is why they think we don't have no money. You know that. You know why a lot of black immigrants don't think foundational black Americans ain't got no money? Because their educational systems suck and they behind. So they can't imagine black engineers and doctors. They can't comprehend that. So they think that we all got the jobs they had. That's what they think. They think we got the typical stuff they be doing in Africa or wherever they from. That's what they think. Because when you watch videos in Africa, they got to go to a specific place to make it look right. Because if they don't go to that spot, Africa is way behind, like a caveman. So they just keep showing the same couple of places, you know? Like we don't know that that's one city in Ethiopia and the rest of Ethiopia is the backwoods. Well, it's like we stupid. We already know if you show us New York, that's New York. We know Chicago don't look like New York. Cleveland don't look like New York. We already know that. But the difference is if New York is their greatest city, if their greatest city match New York, they ain't got no Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, Houston. That they don't got no other great places like that in no country. They might got to dig them out the whole continent. They might got to compare the continent against a country like the United States, but they can't compare no country in Africa to the United States. It's like going back to the Flintstones. They're gonna always show you that one or two pictures of the nice area. They ain't gonna show you the whole country. But you can get on a freeway with your camera and drive from LA to New York, and you're gonna keep hitting cities. You're gonna see a bunch of farmland and open land, and then you're gonna hit nice cities. You're gonna hit cities. You ain't gonna see no mud huts or nothing. You ain't gonna see no people walk around dirty feet, no shoes on, and all that. You ain't gonna see no primitive situation in this country. Our our poverty. When I was in the county jail, I was in there with a Nigerian, and he said, Pharaoh, people would be fighting to get in here from Nigeria. That's what he told me. He said, "You see this county jail?" He said, "Africans in Africa would love to live in here." I said, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "Nah." He said, "They'd be trying to get arrested to get in here." That's what Nigeria told me. I was tripping. Yeah, brother, I called him Nigerians from Nigeria. He said Africans would love to be in the Cook County jail. He said it's real nice compared to some of the living conditions where he came from. That's what he said. I remember when I lived in LA, an African had the apartment next to me. And sometime when we would leave, we would just see hundreds of roaches running around in his window. The window where the drapes as in the living room. He had so many roaches in there that they was just running around the window sills. You know how many roaches you gotta have? And we was like, what the hell is he living like in there? Yeah, the wealth transfer from the Asians, yeah, they going broke because they didn't want to admit that they can't make no money on their own. Asians can't make no money. It's only two people here that can make money on their own: Black Americans and white Americans. All the rest of them, including the Mexicans, they got to make some money off of other people. The Mexicans got to cut other people's grass and shit like that. They can't make no money just on them. They make a little bit. I give the Mexicans a little credit, but anywhere a bunch of Mexicans come, the quality of living go down a little bit too. Look at LA since the Mexicans took over. It ain't fancy no more. Nah, I don't go to cultural stores. I only go to big stores, Target, stuff like that. Jewels, Whole Foods. I don't go to ethnic places. When you go to small places, that's when you run into food poisoning and different things because they don't got the same standards as far as people check inspectors. They don't have inspectors in the little Asian and the little African store. They don't got no inspection. And a lot of times, small places like that, they can't afford to throw out bad food, so they're gonna try to keep selling it. So I don't too much like to eat at no places like that. If I eat at even if I eat at a vegan place, they gotta have a constant customer. I remember I was going to a vegan place one time, and me and my queen we pulled up, and it was like a good time of day, and there was nobody in there. And we was like, we ain't going in there. We ain't gonna be the first ones coming there and get whatever you know what I'm saying? I ain't coming in there. I'm not coming in there. You don't got no customers, like nobody. I'm not coming in there. It looked like a ghost town in there. It's like this white gay dude ran it, I think. I'd seen him on Instagram. We was close. We like, let's go by and check out dude's spot. We pulled up. It wasn't nobody in there. We like, I ain't going in there. In the at the prime time of day, dinner time, and it's empty. Man, I'm not coming in there. That food been just sitting there. Uh-uh. I need the food to be moving. But unless you really doing good business, I don't really eat from no immigrants. I ain't prejudiced or nothing. I just need to have a certain standard. This my health. You know, I'm not just like when I grew up, my parents taught us when they go to people's house, my mother told us don't eat unless she give us the plate. Because my mother said like we go visit relatives, me and my sister we couldn't eat unless my mother made the plate. If my mother don't make us a plate, that means we're not finna eat over here. That means mommy didn't inspected the situation and came to the conclusion, no, this is a no. Real talk. That was the rules. Don't you eat nothing unless I uh, bring it to you. Don't you eat at these people's house. But the Haitians are tripping me out because the Haitians is just constantly trolling us. Donald Trump won a surprising number of Haitian American votes in 2016. But since then, he's burnt a lot of bridges to Little Haiti. Will it burn them next week? In September 2016, then Republican presidential candidate came to Miami's Little Haiti and made an unexpected pitch to Asian American voters who have historically backed Democrats. I'm running to represent Haitian Americans, Trump told a supportive crowd at the Little Haiti Cultural Center. I really want to be your greatest champion, and I will be your champion. And it worked. Surprisingly, an estimated fifth of Haitian voters in Florida and many elsewhere in the United States cast ballots for Trump. So that must have been the 2024 campaign. Political analysts and community reporters offer insight into how the Haitian American electorate split in 2024, focusing on different motivation and perspectives within the community. Conservative and business minded subsections, a subsection of the Haitian American community cast their ballot for Donald Trump. These voters were largely motivated by economic interests, business owners who favored Trump's corporate tax cuts, deregulation, and promises of a stronger economy. Social conservatism, deeply religious Haitian Americans who align with the Republican Party's platform on traditional family values and abortion. Now, that's another thing about a lot of black immigrants. They love the Pope. They love the Pope, which I ain't going to say what I want to say, but they love the Pope. They almost worship the Pope. So I tell you right there, because black Americans don't really deal with the Pope. Like, we don't deal with the Pope. Yeah, black Americans, we don't deal with the Pope. We ain't Catholics. Black Americans is Methodists and Baptists or just nothing. It's a few in the Nation of Islam, a few Muslims, you know what I'm saying? A few Muslims. Philadelphia is mostly like Muslims. Black Americans don't really like Islam too much. It's got to do too much, you know. Got to do too much. Can't eat no bacon. You know what I'm saying? Once you tell my mom and daddy and them and our relatives they can't eat no bacon, you done. That pretty much. So we ain't never really messed with this, with that. You know what I'm saying? So while some Haitian Americans have historically aligned with the Republican Party or supported Donald Trump due to conservative social values and anti communist, anti socialist views common in parts of the diaspora, the political relationship has faced intense strain. Following the Supreme Court's clearance of the Trump administration termination of temporary protected status for roughly 35,000 Haitians, prominent community members and business owners who previously supported Trump have publicly expressed regret, citing the severe economic and personal fallout of looming deportations. This is why Foundation of Black America is going to have to vote Republican. Because what's going to happen now is they're going to try to make the Democratic Party the tether party. And them blacks is running. Ain't none of them going to be foundational Black Americans. They're going to all be tethers. All them black, most of them black politicians that's going to be in the run for these Democratic office, they're going to all be immigrants. None of it's going to be traditionally foundational Black Americans. And immigrants, black immigrants typically don't like us because they've been always competing against us. Typically. Typically, black immigrants don't like foundational Black Americans because black immigrants never want to come in and get in line. They want to come try to push their own line. And they always been kind of disrespectful. They want to come into our country and try to act like they run something. Jamaicans was notorious for this. Jamaicans was notorious for moving into your neighborhood and try to act like they know something. That's why they got hurt so much in LA and Chicago and chased out the country butt naked. Because they try to come push the line in somebody else's country. And ain't nothing but 20 of y'all. Y'all better sit y'all ass down. Your number's too little. Jamaica can't even beat Chicago blacks. We'll run over Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna go at the blacks in this whole country? So right now we kind of infiltrated with these, they mama from the island, they daddy. We gotta watch them. They half pretenders. You gotta watch them because they never comfortable, so they always lean to the tether side. When I mean half pretenders, I'm talking about not because they black immigrants, but because of their mind state. It's their mind state that makes them tethers because they latch on. They don't like us, but they'll latch on to us because that's the only power they could get. So we got a lot of blacks from around the world or mixed, and they always trying to latch on to us, but they don't have our best interest, and they always jealous of us, which is horrible. It's really horrible for somebody to move where you at and be jealous of you like that. Because the vibe is, well, if you that jealous, why don't you take your ass home? A Nigerian won Miss Juneteenth in Milwaukee. Hell no. She's stupid for wanting to be Miss Juneteenth. That shows you she's stupid. Girl, why would you want to be Miss Juneteenth? Stupid. Dumb as hell. What African want to be Miss Juneteenth? That's an L on her part. She don't know nothing. She's like, I miss Juneteenth. I'm stupid. I don't know no history. Yeah, that means she don't know no history. Girl, your dumb ass, how you miss Juneteenth? You actually let them make you miss Juneteenth? See what I'm saying? She think it's a flex. Everywhere she goes, she say she want Miss Juneteenth. People gonna crack up. You want Miss Juneteenth? Hell no. It's like an illegitimate win. Do she know that ain't gonna be no good attention? No damn Nigeria Miss Juneteenth. No, that's gonna be a negative. That's an asterisk. That's a negative against her. She looks stupid. She not gonna tell nobody she won Miss Juneteenth. She ain't gonna tell that. Not after she get a first few response. As soon as she talks to some black American, yeah, I was Miss Juneteenth. They're gonna be like, hell no. This B said she was Miss Juneteenth. Girl, stop. You ain't never that. You gonna tell her somebody that told you wrong. Imagine. I mean, and she wanted a college scholarship, but that's all she wanted. They like leeches and parasites. That's what they come over here for, to eat off the plate and get whatever they can get. That's the reason she ran for the money. You just really can't trust people that don't like you that's always competing with you. That's the problem with black immigrants. You can't be comfortable because they're always competing with you. Yeah, she looked like a knockoff. That's like a black woman winning Miss Barbie. You know what I'm saying? Girl, you ain't Barbie. You know what I'm saying? Go sit your goofy ass down. How you gonna be Barbie? Okay, I'm Spider Man. Whatever. Crazy people. The Africans that went too far anyway, but they do that. They like, I ain't trying to disrespect Africans, but they like an invasive species or something. Political dynamics and community shifts, conservative alignment, a segment of Haitian American voters, particularly business owners, older generations, and evangelical or Republican pastors have gravitated towards conservative policies and figures like Trump. Policy backlash. The administration moved to rescind TPS for Haitians alongside past high profile rhetoric targeting Haitian migrants has deeply alarmed the broader diaspora. Public regret. High profile figures such as Miami restaurant owner Wilkinson Sejour of Chef Creole publicly stated they regretted voting for Trump after enforcement actions and the loss of TPS threatened their employees' business and community stability. Now, the guy that owns Chef Creole, he came out recently and said Americans don't want to work. He didn't say black Americans, he said Americans. But when he made that statement, somebody went in the chat, a Haitian from Florida, and said that he been hiring Haitians, paying them only $4 an hour, making them do slave wages, and a lot of Haitians quit. And they said that he no good, that he wants to hire. He don't hire Haitians because Black Americans won't work. He hire Haitians because he paying them $4. I knew that was the case. That's why he was getting rich. That's why he's opening all them restaurants because he paying slave wages. A Haitian got in there and said, "Yeah, he want to hire us, but only pay us $4." A Haitian busted him out. A Haitian busted him out. I knew he was a scam. I knew he was a con man. I knew it. When he said he couldn't get no more workers, I said, yeah, because ain't nobody going to take what you've been paying your own people. You understand? Because brothers like him, he could threaten to call ICE on them if they don't take that money. He could tell them, if they complain, he could say, I'll get you deported. Keep playing with me. This is known with the black immigrant business owners be making their people work for slave wages and threatening to call ICE on them and get them deported. The Mexicans too. Because I know a Mexican told me that worked at a car wash that his boss threatened to get him and his wife deported if he didn't work them 10 hours for that low wages. He told him, if you try to quit, you ain't going to get nowhere. I'm going to have ICE deport you and your wife. This is a type of a deportation threat slavery is really going on in this country. And they doing it to their own people. I'm telling you, I'd be willing to bet that Haitians been threatening Haitians to work for hardly nothing or get deported. You know how many TPS people? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he paying. Yep, he paying his own fellow countrymen less than minimum wage. No U.S. citizen is going to put up with that slave treatment. No, we're going to call the police. We're going to call the feds and get them closed down. He ain't going to hire. No, we'll call the feds. I'll call the feds on him. Yeah, he was just front on that internet front. Talking about they Americans don't want to work, not for $4 an hour. Why you lying? The feds need to go in there and check him out. Check out his past business practices. Let us see some pay stubs. Let us see the proof of what you've been paying your. He would never debate me. He'll get off the line. I'll be like, I'm gonna send the feds down there and make you turn over your books what you was paying. Because you know what I'm saying? Talking about he was going to open up another restaurant. Yeah, you was opening a bunch of restaurants. Yes, you was doing better than the other restaurants. The other restaurants got to pay 20 some dollars an hour, and you pay $4. That's why you did so well. But I wouldn't want to eat there because the workers gonna spit in the food. The workers gonna spit in the food because you use them. They're gonna be mad. I would never eat at this restaurant. I ain't eat no restaurant where you mistreat the people that's handling my food. They're gonna drop that food on the floor, pick it up, throw it back on the plate because you ain't paying them. That's why they know the immigrants when they come, the word be out. Don't go to Chicago. They go to New York, where it's a whole bunch of immigrants. They go to Florida. They don't come to the rack. They know they'll get dusted off. They can get some of this dust off for you. You know, you come here playing. The Africans when they came here, the Jamaicans when they came here, all of them. They don't be acting like when they go to them other cities. Ask anybody how the Jamaicans act over there on 79th Street right off of Cottage. How they was just in, how they was right off of King Drive. I mean, how they was at their best behavior over there in that GD neighborhood. Because a lot of times they'll disrespect other rosters and stuff too. They don't disrespect. They'll disrespect the FBA hippie roster, but they ain't gonna disrespect no, you don't know, outside roster like me. Because they know I can look outside the shop and say, "Hey, Joe, come here. What you is? Blackstone? Hey, man, dude, they ain't tripping." Yeah. Your ass be back in Jamaica fast, playing with a real one. So we really never had no immigrant takeover. Even Mexicans, everybody stay in their lane in Chicago. So I don't know. But we ain't got no Haitians here. Not that I know. They go up on the north side. They go up in the white and the Caribbeans. They go up on the north in Evanston. They too scary to come where we live at. They go up there in the weirdo area. That's where they go. They don't come to the black. They don't come to the south side or the west side. They go where they can bunch up and do whatever they do and be closer to your white Americans. Because, they'll suck up to them. They'll be one way, but they don't, blacks from the Caribbean, they'll be one way with black people. They a whole nother way. Africans, too, with whites. They flip flop. We don't do that. We just go to work and do our, we don't be over cheesing and all that. Yeah, he was scamming his own people. Haitian Americans who voted for Donald Trump in 2024 were primarily motivated by economic promises, border security concerns, conservative religious values, and dissatisfaction with historical Democrat foreign policy toward Haiti. While the majority of the Haitian American electorate has historically favored Democrats, a distinct segment shifted or maintained allegiance to the Republican ticket. Key motivations for Haitian Trump voters: economic growth and business focus. Many a business focus, so economic growth and business focus. Many Haitian entrepreneurs and working class voters prioritize the economy. They view Trump's background as a businessman as a sign that he would foster a better environment for small businesses, lower taxes, and curb inflation. Strict border security. A number of legal Haitian immigrants expressed frustration with the volume of undocumented immigration. Voters in this camp emphasize that because they navigated the legal immigration system the proper way, they favor Trump's strict border policies. So they don't like no whole bunch of just immigrants running across because they coming across to get away and they don't want the same people they ran from to come. They want to be the few and get in and get their money. So typically Haitians didn't want no other Haitians to come here. They wanted to be the few Haitians. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the one that fell out crying on the sidewalk. Yeah. Shared social values. The Haitian diaspora is deeply rooted in conservative Christian and Catholic religious tradition. Trump's platforms on traditionally family structure, opposition to abortion, and support for religious expression strongly resonate with socially conservative Haitian churchgoers because the Haitians love the Pope. They love European Christianity. Yeah, they worship the Pope. That just show you something wrong with them. Yeah, they worship the Pope. That's why the Rastas used to chant down Pope Paul because the Jamaicans worship the Pope too. The only black people that don't worship the Pope is foundational black Americans. My mom and them didn't give a damn about the Pope. You know what I'm saying? Foundational black Americans ain't no Catholics. We won't be no Catholics. We be Baptists and maybe Methodists. We won't be no Catholics. Shared social values. The Haitian diaspora is deeply rooted in conservative Christian and Catholic religious tradition. Trump's platform on traditional family structures, opposition to abortion, support for religious expression strongly resonate with socially conservative Haitian churchgoers. Disenchantment with Democrats. Some voters held a deep seated distrust of the Democratic Party's historical handling of Haitian affairs, specifically grievance over past interventions such as the Clinton Foundation, controversial post earthquake reconstruction efforts, led some to believe a Trump administration might take a more non interventionist approach to Haiti's governance. They thought Trump was better. He got in there, threw their ass out. Shared social values. The Haitian diaspora is deeply rooted in conservative Christianity. See how I keep saying that? And Catholic religious tradition. Trump's platform on traditional family structures, opposition to abortion, and support for religious expression strongly resonate with socially conservative Haitian churchgoers. Disenchantment with Democrats. Some voters held a deep seated distrust in the Democratic Party, historical handling of the Haitian affairs, specifically grievance over the interventions such as the Clinton Foundation, controversial post earthquake reconstruction efforts. So that's why they don't, you know, political analysts and community reports offer insight on how the Asian American electorate split in 2024, focusing on different motivations and perspectives within the community. Conservative and business minded subsections. A subsection of the Haitian American community cast their ballot for Donald Trump. These voters were largely motivated by economic interests. Business owners who favored Trump's corporate tax cut, deregulation, and promises of a strong economy. Social conservatism. Deeply religious Haitian Americans who align with the Republican Party's platform on traditional family values and abortion. They wasn't with all that LGBTQ stuff, not publicly. So they, lost their temporary protective status. Trump turned on them and did them dirty after they did all that caping. Yeah, they don't want to work and rebuild Haiti. Talk about don't nobody want to work. How you gonna say nobody want to work and you fled your country? But scared to go back home and do something. The gig is up though. The Democrats are not gonna be able to win the presidency unless they keep putting the Haitians out. If they try to go soft on the Haitians, they're gonna lose. The Democratic Party, now that foundational black Americans is so big and strong, they got to change their whole way they function. The Democratic Party's and a big got a big problem coming. They gonna have to get rid of all of them. They're not gonna be able to have all them dim, foreign black politicians. They're gonna lose because we'd rather have a white American politician than a foreign black politician. Because a white American politician gonna get in there and he might be against us too. But it's easier to swallow than your own black people against you. But to have a black person that look just like you will get you is just too much. We want to know we want to know who we dealing with. That's why right now in the United States, black immigrants are getting canceled. Some blacks call them all tethers. I don't do that. But the relationship with black immigrants is over. Our relationship with Africans, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, and all that, that's over. Because it never became no benefit to us in our country. It only benefited them. It was a one-way friendship. See what I'm saying? It's one way. And I've been around a lot of Jamaicans in this one way. They phony. I ain't gonna say all of them, but I'm saying enough of them not to deal with them. They phony. It's a one-way relationship. Black immigrants, it's all about trying to get us to chase behind them, right? And then they got like some type of like deep-rooted uh, um, need to compete against us. You know, like they got this weird thing where they got to prove they could do better than us. From so many years of watching the Muhammad Ali's and watching our success, them watching our success turn to hate and jealousy. And then foundational black Americans is we aggressive. So if black immigrants come in the streets in the hood find out you a hater, you're gonna be done anyway. Ain't nobody gonna spend with you. Ain't nobody gonna want to be around you. Everybody gonna want to get in your face. We don't do the internet. We do outside. So like once they mark themselves, they done. They're gonna have to go live in a white neighborhood. They ain't gonna be able to live around no black people. And then when they go live in a white neighborhood, white people ain't gonna want them up there. This is what black immigrants don't understand. You either gonna come and you're gonna integrate and you're gonna humble yourself and respect foundational black Americans, or you're gonna face extreme racism. That's the two choices you got. But you're not gonna never run nothing. And they don't want to. I don't understand that. You're gonna have to get in where you fit in. The only way black immigrants got any way to walk around here kind of freely in the future is to link in with black Americans. Other than that, they're gonna be done. Because white Americans is gonna look at your little restaurants and they're gonna want to replace your little restaurants. They're gonna be like, don't go eat there no more. Go we gotta eat at our own restaurants. And you're gonna look up, you're gonna have less and less white clientele. And you're gonna go out of business. And you're gonna have no black clientele because you went and catered to the north side. You went and catered to you didn't never cater to black people. You're gonna go out of business. Because black Americans, we look at black immigrants as haters. Black Americans, see, it's a whole lot of black Americans, so we don't pay no attention to black immigrants. But it's a whole lot of us, so they pay attention to us. And in their effort to pay attention to us, we done found out they don't really like us. So even though we don't deal with them, we still know they don't like us. They pretty much done. A black immigrant's relationship with foundational black Americans is over. There's no relationship there. They think FBA is doing that. No, FBA is just doing what already gonna happen. We just gave a name to it. It's what a lot of black immigrants don't understand. They're like FBS pushes division. No, no, that was happening anyway. We just put a name to it. Black Americans do not really like black immigrants because black immigrants came here with no respect for talking about we brothers and sisters. If we brothers and sisters, why you ain't got no respect for me? If we knew you weren't gonna have no respect, we would have chased you out the country off the jump. But we thought y'all was brothers and sisters. Y'all would have been gone. Why y'all think the real reason reggae died? Reggae only took off because of the foundation of black Americans. That's the only reason reggae was anything in the United States. That's a fact. Any Jamaican won't smoke, come get in. Well, you could come in and I'll put you in a line unless you're a fraud and just be arguing and don't be honest. But the fact is, once foundational black Americans start liking reggae, that's when reggae went through the roof. But once foundational black Americans found out that Jamaicans was phony and called them a Yankee and was treated white women better than black women and all that, it was over. It was over. Everybody like, oh, they phony. A lot of Jamaicans caught smoke in LA and Chicago. I can't go into details because they'll be like, oh, you promote violence. So I can't even tell a story because the story gets interpretation like promoting. So I don't promote violence, but some of the stories be violent and stuff. Black Americans don't like black immigrants because black immigrants came over here being disrespectful. Not just because we just don't like you. It's just you disrespectful. Now in Chicago, we don't dislike Haitians. That's because we ain't no around none. But I can guarantee you, if there was a certain amount of Haitians living here, I bet you we wouldn't have liked them. We would have been got it done. Black Americans don't really like Africans and stuff like that because you can pick up when somebody don't like you, and these people just didn't like us first. They just didn't like us. Imagine meeting somebody and they don't like you before you even meet them. That's black immigrants. Before we meet them, they don't like us. And we're like, what the hell? Well, they come from that. That's why. They said, well, why y'all ain't like that? Because we grew up in a white country, so there was no other blacks to not like. We just grew up in a white country. We was black Americans. We had to stick together because America's black and white. So we couldn't be as divisive as y'all. Y'all in our black country, so y'all could be divisive. It's natural for Africans. All y'all do is beef. Y'all got a billion different tribes. Y'all don't get along. Now that's kind of true, but not really. Okay, Mac. Because I shut a dude down. They said the Africans was told not to get along with us when he got here. I asked the dude, well, why they didn't get along with each other before they left? He said, damn, I ain't think about that. Africans didn't get along with Africans when they left. So no, they wasn't told not to like us. They don't like nobody. They hate us anyway. Think about it, K-Mac. When an African come here and don't like you, when he was in Africa, did he like all the other different type of Africans? No. So does he not like us because somebody told him, or is they just tribal and haters? No, they are tribal and haters. They are tribal and haters. That's why somebody would tell them not to like you because they don't like nobody. Okay, Mac? So yeah, someone probably told them don't like us, but that's because they already didn't like blacks right there. Not because of us, but that's how they are. They tribal and they don't get along and they don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. They don't like each other already. When when listen, it's early, it's mid 70s to late 70s, early 80s, like 1980. Most of the black immigrants come up in the 70s. And most of the black immigrants came at come to Chicago in the 70s. How do the Jamaicans don't like the Trinidadians? So for the Jamaicans in 1981 to not like the Trinidadians, that means they didn't like them back when they was in Jamaica. Because there's no way Jamaicans could have came to Chicago where there ain't hardly no Trinidadians and had an experience with Trinidadians when everybody just coming in and don't like Trinidadians. For them Jamaican brethren I knew to tell me what I'm doing with them Trinis, that means they was like that in Jamaica. In Jamaica, they did not like Trinidadians because there's no way they had enough time to learn that because there wasn't hardly no Trinidadians here. Think about it. So how them Jamaicans I was around see me coming to clubs with Trinidad, that's me what I'm doing with them Trini boys. They couldn't have learned that in Chicago. There's not enough Trinidadians here for you to hate Trinidadians. And you live in a black neighborhood and they live in Harvey. Y'all don't even live around each other. There's no way y'all gonna be at the same place. Not as big as Chicago is. So for them Jamaican brethren to not like my Trinidadian brethren, that's some shit the Jamaicans was doing in Jamaica. Had to be. Because they just got here. Let that sink in. That they bought that dislike from the Trinidadians from Jamaica with them. Because there's no way how could they develop that here in Chicago? It's not even a whole bunch of Trinidadians or Jamaicans or no spot where they would be around each other. There's nowhere where they would be. Them live way out in Harvey and them live way up in the South Side. So for them not to like them, that's something they bought from Jamaica. They was haters when they got here. I'm looking at it. If you from the Caribbean and you from the Caribbean and y'all both come up here and you don't like him as soon as you get here, I know I can't trust you. Because you don't even like the black person down there on the island by you. The only difference is, hey, just get one straight thing straight. You on my turf. This the rat. This Chicago. You can't dislike me. You can dislike the Trinidadian. But boy, if I find out you don't like me, you're gonna have to move. B. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. B. Move. B. You're gonna have to go. Boy, you can't come to my city with that and be on these blocks with that and don't like us. Boy, you would lost your damn mind. And that's what happened to all of them. They made a mistake and let the wrong black American gang or whatever know that they were some haters. That's why that community didn't keep growing. You got Africans and Haitians live there in Tinley Park. Let me see, where's Tinley Park at? Chicago got so many neighborhoods. Uh, where's that at? 167 Oak Park Avenue. So, oh, that's out in the south suburbs, right? Out there by Matson. Yeah, yeah, out there by Matson. They had because Harvey fell because they used to be there in Harvey area. Harvey was where they was at, and so they moved over that way. Africans and Haitians. I ain't know they had no Haitians out there. You got a few Africans. Africans be in places like that though. Seeing that Haitian man crown CNN was pathetic. A man should want to go home and fight for his homeland. I ain't see that. He was crying. Hey man, say man. Yeah, I ain't see that. They don't, the gangs running now. Your family owned a barbershop in South Holland. Oh, that's positive. Uh, yeah, I used to get my cars fixed at Caddy Corner. Caddy Corner still over there? Caddy Corner still out there? The city tried to rob him. He might have lost it. Then ain't nobody hardly driving caddies no more. He probably went out of business. He was crying. He was crying because he didn't want to go back to Haiti. But I understand because the gangs run it. I mean, if you wanted to help Haiti, to be honest with you, the only way you could, this just show you these Haitians that the current administration don't care nothing about them. Them people use them Haitians. I'm telling you. They thought these American politicians liked them. They never liked them. They only had them here to use them, and now they done used them up. You know why I'm saying that? If they liked you, right? Real talk. If the United States government liked you, they would have places for Haitians to sign up. They would train them in military combat. They would give them weapons. They would take military planes and take them down there and take Haiti back if they liked them. Facts. America's known for that. If America liked Haitians, they would have armed Haitians and went down there with the Haitians and some U.S. troops, and they would have took it. They would have barbecue, and would took it. But they down there getting that iridium and all that gold and stuff, so they don't want them to go back because they got that iridium. They need that iridium for them spacecraft. I already told y'all that. Look up iridium. One of the main places got iridium is Haiti, and iridium is needed for spacecrafts. It's one of the most expensive metals in the world. I already told y'all that. And it's in Haiti, on my soul. That's what's really going on. Okay? whenever you fix wherever the raggedy place you from and get you a better beautician, get you a better beautician and makeup artist, okay? Yeah, go fix yourself, sweetie. Yeah, go get a makeover. Some get off the internet. Go get yourself together. Lady D Flow. Her name Lady D Flow because the D be flowing out through her ass, all kind of D's. Girl, go sit yourself down, fix yourself. At least take a picture of decent. Why you got that old faded picture? You know what I'm saying? This what they down there for, though. This why they not gonna stabilize Haiti. They not gonna stabilize Haiti. Heck no. And they got the rhodium too. They got the iridium. They got the rhodium. Y'all know about iridium and rhodium? This the stuff they make all them space shuttles with, that iridium. They not finna stabilize that country. They need that iridium. They need Elon Musk need that iridium. Is he bagged by anybody? Heck yeah. Where you think he getting guns from? He bagged by the people that's down there stealing that iridium. He bagged by these people. Keep the country destabilized so we can steal all this gold and this iridium. All armed groups are back. You have to be back to get the arms. You ain't back. You ain't got no arms. You ain't got no weapons. So right now, if I had a militia group, you know, I'm gonna be backed by some government. That's why I told y'all the NFAC was the COINTELPRO. I mean, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. It's all on them. You know what I'm saying? He be gone when they ready for him to go. They could wake up tomorrow and want him to go. It all depends on what their plans are, and which that could be anything. But all if I came when I had a group all of a sudden with weapons, I would be backed by a government, the government. And if you don't want to be backed by the government, then you're gonna get Fred Hampton. You're gonna end up. Fred is dead. That's what I said. Like people didn't know what Curtis Mayfield was saying. He was talking about Fred Hampton. And that deep. But he made you think he was talking about somebody in the movie. Curtis was deep. The lighting system fell on Curtis Mayfield and crippled him. And he was paralyzed for the rest of his life. He'd lay back, make music like this on his back. The whole lighting system fell. Now, how them lighting system fell on him? Was it really an accident, or was he taken out the game for saying too much? You just never know. Think about that you're on stage and the whole lighting system fall on you, and now you paralyzed the rest of your life. But with this iridium and stuff, that's what they're gonna get. But yeah. Oh yeah, it was windy that day. Sure was. I forgot. It was a storm coming, and instead of he getting off the stage, thanks for reminding me. That's true. It was a storm coming, and instead of him ending the show, he stayed out there, and the whole system got blown down. Sure did. I'm glad you reminded me. Yep, that's what happened. Sure did. It was a storm, and instead of him ending the performance, he stayed out there, and it blew the whole set down. I don't know why he stayed out there. You know, when you got electronic equipment in the storm, you supposed to. Yeah, it was a storm came. I'm glad Dwayne reminded me. I know the whole story. I just had slipped my mind. Yeah, he had a show and a big storm came, and he tried to stay out there and keep playing through the storm. And the wind that woo and blew the whole stage down on him, not just the lighting. Right, I forgot. Blew the whole stage apart. Like I think a couple of other people got hurt too. But we got the main part where the scaffold and all that stuff fell on him. Yeah, I forgot. It wasn't just the lights, it was the whole setup fell on. Yeah, that was horrible. I know people that was at that show. I bet they had trauma from that. I bet you they had like some kind of something from watching them almost get unalive. He never walked again. He had to lay on the back for the rest of his life. He was totally paralyzed from the neck down. He used to put a thing in his mouth and make music with a thing in his mouth on the computer. Like, no, it wasn't no hit job. It wasn't no hit job. It was a bad storm. It was a bad storm. It wasn't no hit job. It was a bad storm. I forgot. Yeah, it wasn't no hit. It was a bad storm. And he stayed out there. I forgot. Yeah, I'm glad Dwayne reminded. It was a bad storm. It was totally an accident, but it was really his fault. He should, everybody that play music know when the storm comes, get off the stage, man. Get off the stage. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff hanging up here, bro. Get off the stage. First off, you're gonna protect the instruments. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what he was thinking where he stayed out there. Maybe it just said out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was just out there and just the wind just blowing like that. It might happen like that. We didn't give him no time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I grew up on Curtis Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? Eddie, you should have known better. Brother, you know you're wrong. He from somewhere down south. I forgot. He from down south though. So that's what's going on with that, y'all. The Haitians, I don't know what the deal is with them, but they definitely gonna throw them out. They definitely gonna throw them out, and I don't know. They I don't know what's wrong with the Haitians. The Haitians, I don't know what's wrong with them. Something wrong with them. Like they got no type of strategic mindset or nothing. If the Trump administration go in your TPS and decide to throw you out, why would you attack foundational Black Americans who are typically Democratic and most of them don't like Trump? Make that make some sense. So you go and you attack your allies, right? This lady gets up there and calls us dirty Black Americans, and it's pretty much over for Haitians, pretty much. It's a wrap. Because ain't no Black Americans gonna Black Americans not gonna help them. It's pretty much over for them. Because that one lady, she went viral. I mean, you couldn't get worse timing. You couldn't get worse. You couldn't get worse timing. Back to back. Look, first she said that in February, and then in June TPS expired. I mean, you cannot get worse luck than that. She said that in mid-February. When it go viral, it's gonna pop in January. 2 weeks later, it's gonna pop. It's gonna be going. It went crazy. January, February, March, April. Start slowing down, but everybody still no. May, then June, they throw you out. What is Black America's gonna say? Get out. Now I'm saying Black America's gonna say get out. And when the smoke clear, the Haitians gonna blame her. Now she can't go nowhere. Everybody gonna say get out. I was just talking to a friend. I said that's the worst thing I ever been called in my life. I ain't never been called. That's the worst thing in my history as a Black American. That's the worst. That's the worst I ever heard my people call. And this black woman said it on a black show, disrespecting some other Black Americans, disrespecting them brothers and sisters like that. And see, that's what Carmen, and that's why you ain't gonna see me go crazy on the Haitians and call them all type of stuff because that's bad stuff happen. Some people will say she cursed the Haitians when she did that. What a lot of black immigrants don't know, but she don't know when she said that white America saying that. And they would think white America won't care. But no, nobody likes that. Nobody likes a traitor or a rat. So white America will look at that and say, look at her, call her own black people that. So they don't got no respect for her. She lost all respect in the world. Everybody that see that, they're not gonna respect her. The Haitians that thought it was funny is crying now because they finally getting deported. It was funny in February, March, April, May. It ain't funny in June. No more kaka kiki. It ain't funny now. And Haitians gotta really like lock down in Haitian environments. They can't really mingle in foundational Black American environments too much. You know, me and the guys we somewhere join us, so we mean do. Hey, where you from? Haiti. My whole energy gonna freeze up. As soon as the dude say from Haiti, my whole energy gonna flip. I'm like, oh, what you think about what your girl said? The whole energy gonna get dark. Oh no, she shouldn't have said that. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like I can't trust you either. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got no friends. They ain't got no support system. Ain't nobody gonna support no Haitians. I speak for a lot of foundational Black Americans. We wouldn't care if they threw every last Haitian out, just based on that. You know what I'm saying? Call me petty Pendergrass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Call me petty. Call me petty Pendergrass. You know? Hey, Haitian lady, turn out the lights. Turn out the lights. You know what I'm saying? Who you calling dirty? You know what I'm saying? Turn out the lights. I couldn't believe it. I swear to God, never seen nothing like that. I never seen nobody do nothing like that. See, she a Haitian. She thought she was just gonna disrespect them and it was gonna stay there. She was trying to disrespect them ones that was interviewing her. She didn't know she a Haitian. She ain't up on game. She didn't know it was gonna go out in the stratosphere, right? So she ended up making them how much money? If they was monetized, right? How much they made from that episode? So she tried to diss them, but she made them a bag, a big bag. If their channel was monetized, she made them a big bag. Cause I know it got over 1 million views, easy. So she trying to hate, but she threw him a blessing. And now the hate's back on her. And then boom, right after that, they say Haitians get out. And what a lot of Black Americans say, oh yeah, get y'all ass out since we so dirty. Go home and sweep Haiti. Because I immediately went and started looking at pictures of Haiti. And I said, she got a lot of nerve. You know what I'm saying? So why y'all blaming us for Trump throwing y'all out? But Haitians, you ain't say nothing when one of y'all people disrespected us internationally. They didn't say nothing. But now they got all this all in the chat. I didn't see no Haitians getting in the chat saying, man, we apologize for that. We don't got nothing to do with it. None of that. Trump gonna throw you out. Now you all in my chat. You FBA, we the original Black Americans. All this. But didn't say nothing when your people got out of line. And you think we gonna stand up for y'all? Nah, we gonna do y'all dirty since we dirty. We gonna do you dirty. My daughter gonna like, Dad, you can't do it like that just because of one lady. I said, yes, I can. I don't deal with them and you don't deal with them either. She said, what you mean? Girl, repeat after me. I don't deal with Haitians. Okay, Dad, I don't deal with Haitians. I told my daughter, repeat after me. I don't deal with Haitians. Here she go. Okay, Dad, I don't deal with Haitians. Jeez, straight up. Girl, you got to do what your daddy told you to do. We don't mess with them. But I tell you, we don't mess with them. Don't let me, you know what I'm saying? They cancel. You know what I'm saying? I had to touch that girl. She called you dirty. She like, oh yeah, you got a point. I wouldn't have liked it. You know, Daddy. You know, my youngest daughter. She said she better be glad she didn't call Rochelle that. That's the oldest daughter. That's the one like the humbug. If my oldest daughter would have been in there, they would have had to turn the camera off on myself. Oh, hey man, if my oldest would have been there, man, they would have had to turn the camera off on everything. She would have jumped up. Who you calling dirty? Ah, she would have got up. She would have got up and got in her face. Boy, we from the rack. That's up in New York somewhere. But New York is an immigrant city anyway. New York is an immigrant city. You know, it's big. It's a whole bunch of different islands. So Black Americans up there doing the best they can. You know, they surrounded by a whole bunch of Chinese. Like they Chinatown is really like going to China. You know what I'm saying? You don't let me catch you, I know. My daughter would have got busy right there, no. All us, we would have got busy. She a lady, but she definitely would have got a verbal situation. If I was there, she would have got a verbal situation. She would have got the Chirac treatment. Boy, she would have got the Chirac treatment. That's how that shit would have went in Chicago. It would have been like, dirty black American. Hold on. Candy, where you at? Lisa now with you? I'm over here, so how soon you could get here? Now I'll tell you when you get here. Somebody over here tripping. You know that? So I would have went. I would have called. I would have called the she squad. You know when you was in, when you been in the streets, you got some females. You got five females that's on deck. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the streets, yeah, I would have called Tasha now. Tasha, I'm gonna be over there in a minute. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Don't tell her we coming. Up there all out your body. Now the Haitians gotta suffer. Because a lot of black Americans, we don't care nothing about the Haitians just because of that. Man, you called us dirty like that. That was tripped out, man. That's the worst thing I ever heard. You know what I'm saying? As a black American, I'm born 1958. That's the worst thing I ever heard. I ain't lying. I ain't promoting no violence or nothing. But that's the worst thing I ever heard, though. And I was born under racism. Well, they was calling us the N word and everything. But it was like everything that used to be said was kind of personal when I was growing up. They called you the N word. What made her so egregious is she said Americans with an S. So that meant every last one of us. It ain't like she said, you dirty black American. You a dirty black American. That's different. She said dirty black Americans. That's what made it egregious. Like all of us. I couldn't believe it. I said, what the hell did she say? It said dirty black Americans. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, oh, okay. Boom. Next thing you know, TPS revoked, ended. See, God don't like ugly. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest karmas that black America's ever seen. Like some Bible. That ain't like something in the Bible. Be honest. That's the biggest, you young people, ain't that the biggest karma you ever seen in your life? She said that, and people being thrown out the country, being locked up. That's a big karma, ain't it? She said that, and now 350,000 people got to get out. Name a karma bigger than that. Let's think about it in them terms. She said that, just her. And TPS ended for 350,000 of her people. That's boy. That's and they go. That's gonna follow her for the rest of her life. They gonna blame her. Like a lot of people, spooky like that, right? So a lot of people are superstitious. All the superstitious Haitians, they gonna blame her. I'm telling you. When the smoke settle, and a lot of them get deported, and the smoke settle, they gonna be like, one reason we didn't have no support is because of her. Nah, black Americans wasn't gonna help us after she said that. And that went viral. That's what they gonna be saying. I'm telling you, they gonna say they ain't gonna say she the reason that they got deported. They gonna say she the reason they didn't have no help. Cause I'm telling you, man, a lot of black Americans. That's the reason a lot of black Americans is like, get out, all y'all. Cause we don't usually be like that. Typically, black Americans wouldn't speak on this at all. And that also explains why the Haitians started attacking us. Because I was like, well, why they attacking us? But now that I'm talking to y'all, I realize why. Because they already knew, oh, the black Americans finna go crazy. We might as well attack them now. She didn't call them dirty. They gonna want us to get out. That's why they knew we wanted them to get out. Because I was wondering, like, why the Haitians is assuming we want them to get out. I know why. Because they think that lady say that. They think that lady said that, and they already knew it was gonna be F them. I get it. They was right. It's F y'all. Y'all right. I was wondering like how y'all jumped to conclusion we ain't even in it. But the Haitians like, oh, we knew you was gonna be in it. Hey, I just figured something out on live in front of all y'all. Cause I was like, well, why they just jumped on us? Now I get it. They knew we was gonna be in it. Oh, after this, I get it. They just went ahead and got on the offense. They already knew. Now it makes sense. I just said the other day, I was like, y'all don't understand why they jumped on us. We don't got nothing to do with it. Oh, that's why. Because they was all giggling and snickling. That video went viral among the Haitian people too, trust me. And they probably thought it was funny. They probably thought it was funny and cute. Because a lot of them, they really don't like us. They're Black Americans, Jamaicans, and a lot of them. Hey, I ain't never seen that like that before. And I ain't never seen somebody do something and they whole race, they whole what you call culture pay for it. I ain't never seen that either. She said that, and the whole Haitians got attacked. quick too. The last thing they're gonna remember about being in America is one of them calling us dirty. Boy, that's a hell of a way to leave. And black people like, bye. Now it makes sense. I get it. They knew we was gonna be like that. Cause usually with like black people like that, I wouldn't have I probably wouldn't have said nothing, or I would have been like, man, they ain't gotta do the Haitians like that. But because of what she said, and they said they put a throw them out, I was like, bye. I kind of felt guilty, but shit, that's the way I felt. Make sure you grab her, though. I want to see her specifically on the news in cuffs, being led to the ice wagon. I ain't gonna tell a lie. Call me Patty Tendergrass. You know, call me Patty Pendergrass. Yep, call me. Yep, call me Patty Riley. You know what I'm saying? Call me Petticoat Junction. You know what I mean? Because I'm about as petty as I ever be. I'm super petty right now. I want all of them out because of her, which don't make no sense. I feel a little guilty. I want not just the TPS, get the STPs too. Throw out the TPSs, the STPs, and the SPTs. Throw all of the alphabets out. You know what I'm saying? Throw out the SPTs and the PTSs and everybody. Throw the PTSDs out too. Throw all of them or get them all. Don't be calling us out that name. You know what I'm saying? Who you calling dirty? Girl, and you bootleg cute. She bootleg cute. You ever had a woman that was bootleg cute? She kind of cute, but kind of bootleg cute, kind of evil looking. Don't look like they smile. You know what I'm saying? So you got a woman like this, she don't smile or nothing. All she do is keep shit up. Sometimes when they be mean too much, they face start shaping like that. They face just turn mean. That's what's going on though. They got a lot of nerve, man. They need to shut up because they sure was pushing Trump. Y'all was pushing Trump. How they blaming us when they love Trump? You know what I'm saying? Let that sink in. I don't understand. That's the part got me confused. It was Haitians for Trump. Haitians for Trump. Y'all was on that heavy. They was on that heavy. Now you blaming us because your boy throwing y'all out. You know what I'm saying? That's y'all boy. That doggone guy got the restaurant talking about, I supported Trump. Right. So take your lick. You know what I'm saying? Take your lick. Boy, the next presidential election, make sure you subscribe over here. That's going to be a mess, ain't it? The next presidential election going to be a mess. I can already tell. On my soul, y'all stay positive all the time. You know what I'm saying? And always remember, it's reparations. When? Now.